Hi, hello, how are you? It's me, I'm back. We're doing a vampire checkup today. This is a sequel, I guess, update on the video I did. I believe it's titled Trouble in Paradise. I figured this one would be pretty fine to do, and then I proceeded to be like, oh, I probably don't need to do research, and then I was like, well, I should double check. I want to poke around. And then I was also like, well, am I going to do all the vampires or just the main ones? And and I was like, you know what? I'll do a little bit of research. I should at least poke around Drift's POV a little bit. And it's a good thing I did. I found out some things. So that was fun. We'll get to it in a bit. But we're going to do... like we did last time, we're gonna do like a cure position, and then we're gonna do like a relationship situation. I've decided that we're gonna stick to Scott, Owen, Pyro, Shelby, and then I'm gonna also add Apo in there because she is currently staying at the castle. She might not have the best of intentions, but I imagine unless she doesn't royally fumble it, she'll be there for at least a little bit. But I have thoughts about that we'll get to in a little bit. Let's do cure stuff. Let's see. So I'm just gonna kind of maybe do everyone's name and then just be like, yay, nay, may, for maybe. Okay. Cure. Just a quick. This one's, we're gonna speed run this sucker because we can just do everybody for this. Scott. You can more or less tell who that's not true actually. Immediately raised Pyro and is like, yeah, but starting to get longer. Okay, so no, it won't work. Cleo also falls into won't work. And then let's do our yes. Yes, please. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say spoiler warning at the beginning of the episode, but like, you guys are feral enough. You've seen the community post. You've been given enough time. It's fine. The only time there's a spoiler thing in effect is during the grace period, the day it comes out for us. Any other time you're on my channel, we're pretty spoiler heavy because we need more content. We're taking everything we can get, okay? I do try and tag things that are like thumbnails or like stream stuff. I'm gonna mention some stuff from a stream a little bit later as a copium thing for kicks, but anyways, I should get back to this. Yes, please. Who talked to me last? We'll get to it in the Pyro video, but I honestly, who talked to me last is the greatest answer for Pyro. It's like, well, who talked to me last? And depending on whoever talked to Pyro last, that would be who he agrees with. Oh, he's such a mess. I love him. And then, let's see. Shelby has sort of gone... No. I would say Shelby has fallen into the no camp now. She seems to be fine with being a vampire and doesn't particularly care to take the cure. She's more so concerned with town. she's fine, you know, talking about cure stuff and like is vaguely open about it. But Shelby has gotten to the point where she just wants to be friends with people. And so she was, you know, talking about cure stuff. She's like, well, if I'm human, will you be friends with me? So Shelby's concern is more social than like, oh, I hate being a vampire, it sucks, depression, you know? She's not deeply torn up about it. Okay, and then I did watch Drift's POV. It seems like she's planning to make the most of being a vampire, but I do believe she falls into the yes please camp. But we'll see. It's kind of hard to tell. She hasn't really had that long to sit with it. So, yeah. So that's the cure sitch. And then we're going to move to our messy board of feelings about each other, because I have had to make it bigger because we're including Apo, because this is just like, I feel like it's necessary. Also, I don't really want to repeat myself too much from last time, even though I do feel like it warrants an update. I do think it's interesting to add another person into the mix. Do I want to go Pentagon? Let's see. Generally like that. It's not very good, but it's just can you see? Maybe I need to shift it over a little bit. This was just for reference purposes. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay, and then I'm gonna be using colors, so it's not like the hugest deal that you can see stuff, I guess. Okay, and then we're adding Apo to this. Okay, so we're using a color system. I'm gonna use, I have like several shades of different things. So generally what we've got is work in progress, good, and suck, mad. But I would say that there are 2 degrees of all of these. We're gonna do light green versus dark green for various things. I think I'm gonna have the lighter color be the one that's generally more leaning positive. It's to indicate strength. So I guess dark blue would probably be like extra good. So if you're doing good with someone, but like it's like solid. And then we're gonna do red. Actually, no, I think I was gonna do good for red because it was, we're gonna do red for good, because like it's fun, it's vampires. The vampires get to be happy about the red, you know, they're like, oh, we besties, you know. Okay. I would say that the which one do I want to be the good one? I'll decide in a minute. I'll let you know. But it's like, I'm kind of mad at you right now. I'm really mad at you right now. Okay, so I think this will help to distinguish degrees, because some people are mad at each other, but I don't believe they're actually mad at each other within Team Vampire. Okay, so let's go. Who's self-explanatory? Actually, Shelby's first on my paper. I have notes as per usual. Okay, so words. Okay. Let's see. Shelby. I would say, okay. Which one's the nice one? I did say darker meant that your relationship was worse. No, this one means I really like you. This one means I like you. I would say that Shelby and Scott still got their thing going, and they're pretty good. Shelby still chilling with Scott. And I would say Scott is a little bit bothered by Shelby, but I would say has forgiven her. He's a little grouchy puss about it kind of right now. Oh, I realized this is going to be super annoying because they're going to overlap a whole bunch. Well, that sucks. Whatever. Well, actually, you know what? I can just erase in between if I need to. Let's just do that. I'll do all of Shelby, and then I'll do all of whoever in whatever order I wrote it down, because that's easier, so that there's not as much cross-sectionality. Right. Okay. Owen and Shelby are kind of beefing right now a little bit. I got the feeling in the like meeting room hall spot when they were having the conversation, and like Owen's like, oh, like, why did you lie to me? Or like Shelby's been like, don't tell Owen. It kind of gave like talking to the parent you like more and being like, don't say anything or whatever. It was very cute. But it did feel like you're telling the parent that you like trust more, that you broke the vase, and asking them to be chill about it and not tell your other parent. That was the energy I was getting. I thought it was cute. But yeah, on Shelby's end with Owen, but is it red or green? See, but like Shelby likes everybody. So I think she's kind of mad at him a little bit right now. She did give a very fire comeback when she was like, well, you got to choose. We just had to accept it. That was pretty fire. Let's give it, because this is sort of like the medium category. I would say they're kind of sitting at a medium right now, but not like a bad medium. More like you'll go back up to red in a little bit if you chill out a little bit. But we'll see if Owen does that. Owen is... Actually, I guess I should probably just... If I'm going to do that, I'm just going to do how Shelby feels. And then do whoever on their turn. Because then I don't get confused. Okay. I would say Shelby and Pyro are pretty solid. They might even be there. Like, Shelby seems to be, like, really good with Pyro. Like, one of these two, you're welcome to choose your interpretation. But it's pretty solid. They've got a good thing going on. I think Shelby and Apple are friends. I think they're chill. I think she's happy to be, like, girl squad, happy to have someone else to talk to. They were having a very like civil conversation about different stuff. Like I think it was like outside the bridge area or whatever in front of the castle. They seem to be on pretty good terms. I think she's just kind of like, let's go, more people, more vibes, more people in the coven or whatever they're calling it. I think Pyro's been saying brood, but I'm like, ew, I don't like that. Okay, so that's Shelby. Who's next in my notes? Again, this is purely based on random order. Looks like Appo's next. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Appo. We get to use the meaner colors for this one. Appo is like sucky and mad at Owen for surezies. She is still mad. But actually, no, she's still mad. I think she's kind of still mad at Scott. Now, this is how she actually feels. I think what she's going to portray in the actual, like, if she does her subterfuge correctly, I will think that she will portray that she feels like, yeah, nah, wrong color. I think she'll portray the medium, like, hey, you know, I don't know you well enough. Let's get to know each other. Let's work on this. I'm not, like, I think this is what she will, the green for those two is very much so what she's gonna, depending, I don't know how good of an actor Appo is. Like, she's been doing, like, semi-fine, like, hiding stuff in town, so we'll see how well that translates. Okay, words. I think Appo and Shelby are friends. I think they're chill. I don't think Appo is really gonna have anyone that she's, like, locked in with. Caveat. I think that Pyro is... I think that because she's gonna be hanging out with the vampires more, she'll be able to talk with Pyro more. And it seemed like in this episode, like, this is what's going on with Pyro. They're sort of work in progressing it, but given the fact that she feels she kind of no likey these two, and you know Shelby or whatever, I feel like it's gonna go pretty fast from this to this, and then to this. We'll see how long it takes, or if Pyro ruins it, but I could easily see them getting back into their old groove. Because of just familiarity. She's in a new place with people she doesn't like as much, but she does like these two, and so I imagine I can see that. Like, it's essentially like a spend more time with people, get to know them better, become closer kind of situation. And she already knows Pyro, so they just kind of need to, like, they kind of had an apology session, like a teeny bit. They sort of talked about it, but I think they just need a little bit more time to kind of, like, work it out, I guess. Yeah, I would say this is pretty accurate. Okay, who's next in my notes? Pyro. Okay, so Pyro... This will be fun. Pyro, I think Pyro... See, I want to say that Pyro and Appo are like this, but I feel like the bit with Truffle for Pyro is kind of like, yeah, we're good again. And also the fact that she's hanging out with the vampires. And the other thing is, I don't know how well he'll take it if he realizes or is told that this is, like, subterfuge to a certain extent. We'll see, because he's kind of doing that himself, but also not. Yeah, we'll get into it in the Pyro video. We'll see how long that ends up being. There's a lot to talk about. Okay, and then, oh yeah, Pyro and Owen are beefing right now. I wouldn't say it's quite to dark blue for Pyro, but they are beefing right now. He's kind of mad. Owen's really mad. It's more of a dark green, but, like, they're beefing. Definitely some pent-up feelings that are getting taken out on Owen. At least in my opinion. That's what I've been thinking about. Pyro and Shelby, they chillin', they besties. Pyro was like a little bothered by the whole like lying to him thing for like 5 seconds and then immediately got over it. At least in my opinion. Feel free to fight me in the comments, but I feel like they're pretty tight. Hate when I accidentally touch another color with my marker and then it gets on the side. Bruh. Anyways. Okay. So. Words. And then we have this mess, but while Pyro is like terrified of Scott, I guess because he is, I mean, like, can I really say they besties? I don't, because they're not. It's sort of like, that's my boss that I have an emotional attachment to. Like a little bit. Yeah. I would say that's about right. Yeah, no, that's pretty solid for Pyro. Yeah. Unhealthy attachment to Scott. Beefing with Owen. Apo will probably be like vibing. If Apo does her job correctly, she'll probably be pretty tight with Pyro, and I'm sure Pyro will be down to vibe because they were really okay. You guys, I don't know how well you guys are paying attention in the early episodes, but like Apo and Pyro being roommates was like really fun and such a vibe. It was great. Who's next? Owen. Owen gets to go next. Okay. Owen is beefing very hard with Pyro right now. Yeah. Crashed out a little bit. Kind of seems like he wants to fight him. Like, legitimately. Owen, okay, this, I feel like Owen kind of is like cautious of Apo, and so it's more of a dark green where it's like, yeah, we'll see how our relationship goes. I don't have like too many feelings about you to the point where I can't like be chill. And so I feel like it'll probably turn into like, hey, I don't hate your guts. Maybe we're okay. That will obviously change if Owen finds out that Apo is lying about being kicked out of town. But I do feel like if she does a good enough job acting, and the thing is, it's not all acting. Apo is enough to be like legitimately bothered by that I think she might just like kind of join Team Vampire like for realsies. Like not all the way, but like she'll just become Shelby part 2. Where like, hey, let's not kill town, but like I'm with you guys, you know? Owen seems to like, Owen is like, haha, last one who actually isn't, you know, betraying me or whatever with Scott. Yeah. Well, that sucks. Okay. And then Shelby's kind of hard to stay mad at. I would say that, see, I hesitate to make it green because I don't feel like it. Let's say that how about we start with green for Shelby, light green, but I feel like she can recover from this if it's done properly. It just depends on how hard Owen is crashing out next episode, because I'm not inclined to believe him. Like, love you, bestie, but I don't know how crazy you're actually gonna go. You are so, like, struggling for community. Why would you turn against the people who are, like, being chill with you? They, like, obviously, you know, Shelby lied. It wasn't even that big of a deal. Was immediately caught for it. There were, like, barely any repercussions for that. he is definitely beefing with Pyro pretty badly. I don't know if there's really a shot for making up there. It would depend on Pyro. But I would say that this is probably the worst relationship right now. The weakest, I guess, in that way. Oh, yay, time for Scott. Okay. Scott was definitely bothered, but not like heartbroken over Pyro and Shelby this episode. So I would say, honestly, it's hard to stay mad at Shelby. So, like, I did do red earlier, but, like, I feel like favorite child Shelby he's over it. We besties. Scott, I would say I want to say dark green or light green, because, like, Scott has sort of realized that he needs Pyro on a short leash if he wants him to do what he wants. Pyro is prone to wander, I guess. He's sort of very fluid in the way that he reacts to the world. And so when you give him that much, like, room to kind of do what he wants, he might do something you don't like as much. And so Scott has shortened the leash on Pyro, essentially, and has realized that he needs to, babysit him a little bit more so that he feels... It's kind of like when your teacher came and sat next to you in class, which was weird, but you were annoyed by it, but it kind of worked. Let me know if that's weird, but, like, like when someone kind of sits there to be like, okay, do your homework or whatever, that kind of energy. I feel like that's sort of what's happening. I hesitate to do this, but I'd say they're pretty chill. Honestly, I think it went from, like, light green to red for Scott and Owen when Scott had that moment where he's like, so apparently the only person I can trust is Owen, which was kind of fire. Loved that for them. And then I think it's up in the air for Apo. He seemed, like, pretty friendly, but it's sort of like, are we chill work in progress, or am I, like, sus of you work in progress? Yeah, but I will say, run back to Pyro for a second. Pyro will probably get back to red as long as he doesn't do anything next episode that's, like, stupid or blatantly with town. Yeah. But yeah, Apo. So it seemed like after Apo, it's really funny because the way that he was talking to, like, Apo at the end of the episode, it was like, not in my house, young lady, is sort of the energy that he had when Apo was kind of being a little like, I don't like you, which is, like, really funny. I've seen the comparison to rebellious teenager, and I was like, yes. I was like, this is correct. But yeah, I would say that's about what we got going on for Scott. And then we're gonna just bust out. I'm just gonna write the names of the other vampires and sort of give, like, a couple things that I think are relevant. Because something happened that I think was very interesting in Drift's POV. because funny enough, Cleo told Drift that Avid got turned, so Drift knows. And also knows that Avid is not telling her, which is a choice. So I don't know how well that will, you know, I don't think it will be too bad on their relationship, but we'll see. Depends on how long he goes into the next episode before telling Drift how well that will go over. Because I don't think, she's not mad that he's a vampire. She's gonna be mad that he didn't tell her and that he's lying to town. Yeah. Okay. So, I will say oh wait, I've forgotten people. Cleo. There we go. Okay. So, it's important to note that, Avid is kind of crushing on Scott a little bit. Shush. It's very cute, and I think it's great. Keep making fan art. Oh, also, sorry, I just thought of something very funny. We're gonna have to do something after this. So, I would like to add links to this as adopted, but I have a better idea for the thing I'm gonna do after this, which I think is funny. But let's get into the other vampires real fast. Cleo doesn't think that the cure will work. Cleo is chill about Scott. That's something that she's pretty explicit about. Oh yeah, she's also kind of pissed at Avid right now, and I would say understandably. She also like threatened him a little, understandably. Let's see. Because I didn't go as crazy on these. It's just I wrote down the ones that were very clear. He also, I will say about Avid. Avid put himself in timeout at the end. Sorry, I couldn't resist. He put himself in timeout. That's what it is. In the jail. Avid put himself in timeout at the end of his episode. It's very clear that Drift and Shelby are like good buddies. I wouldn't say they're besties, but they are pretty good buddies. So I imagine they will chat and it'll be chill. Drift did mention like thinking about like going over to the castle, so it's on her mind. Another thing to keep in mind with Drift specifically, because Scott, our little Scott's munchies are these guys. And Wondering Daydreamer brought up somewhere, I found you, teehee, that they have like a theory that the older a vampire is, the like worse time you have with like blood and like the like bloodlust and stuff, and like all the different like downsides of being a vampire are like stronger. And I would say that's definitely been the case for Apo, and it's definitely been the case for Pyro. So keep an eye on Drift. We'll see if this is true. But I think it's really cool if it's true. Yeah, I wanted to touch on that. And then, let's see, who else is in? Anything else in here that I want to touch on? Oh yeah, Cleo seems to sort of be like green just in general towards other vampires. yeah, she's sort of like, I don't hate your guts, let's be chill, and I don't know, she kind of has like the non-committal attitude a little bit, so yeah. I think that's all I want to get to with that, but I have something fun. You feel free to dip, but I really want to do something that I think is kind of funny, because I thought of something funny while we were talking. I love how I say while we were talking. While I was talking at you is the real answer to that. Okay, so I know some people have done the family tree stuff, but I'm gonna do one. I know some people have different interpretations of this, but personally, for me, Owen is the mom, Scott's the dad, and then let's see, how many of these? I gotta remember, okay. Cleo, Eppo. I guess actually, no, like the way that I'm pretty sure that Cleo usually gets to be the sassy aunt, so we'll put her over here. Auntie. Yeah, no, Cleo's the sassy aunt. And then, no. Let's see. Actually, maybe. Nah, let's just have Scott be dad, and then Owen is like also related. I think Owen was like uncle or whatever. Parent. Scott is parent. Pyro. And then Drift. Shelby. I guess I should probably do it like this, but I don't want to. Actually, I should. It's more accurate. Shelby, Avid. Okay, so the thing I was thinking of earlier that I think is really funny, that I think is perfect and so hilarious, and I would love to see fan art of this. And also, I'm going to mention a stream clip really fast. It's not necessarily canon or promised, but in Avid's stream, he was talking with Lagundo, and they were fighting over which vampire was, like, more evil between Scott and Owen. And Lagundo, about Owen, says, I can fix him, and so I have hope. There's hope. And so, Lagundo is in-laws with okay? He's at Thanksgiving with the vampires. He's the plus one of Owen specifically. And it fits perfectly. He's just, put on some fake teeth. He's pretending. Guys, it's perfect. It's beautiful. I love it. but in-laws, I was like, guys, peak comedy. In-law Lagundo to vampire family is beautiful, and I love it. But yeah, I think generally rebellious teenager, son. I think this is sort of baby favorite child. And then, but the thing is, Avid kind of has this thing going on with Scott, so that's kind of weird if we're doing the family analogy. Maybe I just need, let's move, I've separated Cleo. I can do that. Let's put Avid over here. That might be a little biased because I think it's fun, and I think the fact that that Avid and Laguna were fighting over their respective vampire crushes to each other by like a little like not like aggressive, but it kind of felt like a little aggressive. Like they were very, very passionate about no, mine is better. Mine is less evil than yours. And it was beautiful. Yeah, so let's just say that the currently, you know, Avid is sort of like maybe in lore they're just looking at each other across the room right now. They're like, hey, we gonna do this? Maybe he's just a friend that got dragged into this. You know, that one time you go to like a family Thanksgiving thing and you realize you're the only person who isn't related to everyone there. Maybe that's Avid. But yeah, no, I find this to be incredibly hilarious. He's either adopted, like don't tell him he's adopted, or in-laws via Owen. Because fabulous. Hilarious, peak comedy. Yeah, so that's the video. I would say 12 days? I want to say 12 days. It doesn't matter. It's longer than a week. I don't care. It's too long. Hope you enjoyed though. So yeah.